I love testing new recipes in my family, but when it comes down to it, we eat a lot of the same meals every week. If a recipe is going to make the list of meals that we eat on regular rotation, it has to be downright delicious and easy to make. But to keep from getting bored from these meals, they either have to have room for variation or I need to be able to use it in a different way. This cilantro lime chicken does just that, and I'll show you how to turn this chicken into different meals. Start by adding a quarter cup of avocado oil to a bowl. Then add lime juice, a quarter cup. For best flavor, you should use fresh limes, but today is not that kind of a day, so I am using the bottled stuff. A quarter cup of chopped cilantro, a teaspoon of salt, 3 cloves of garlic, minced, a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Make sure you use the smoked, it adds the best flavor, and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Besides chicken, this marinade would also go really good with shrimp or pork. And I'm using chicken thighs, but chicken breasts work here too. Let the chicken sit in the marinade for at least 30 minutes, but 2 hours is going to be ideal to get all those flavors infused in the meat. You can even make this in the morning and let it marinate all day. It's not going to hurt it at all. To cook the chicken, you could do it in the stovetop, air fryer, oven, but I'm going to use the grill. I use the grill because it's the easiest and the fastest to clean. You can serve this along with your favorite vegetables or slice it up and serve it on top of cauliflower rice, pico de gallo, avocado. Just basically make a keto burrito bowl. Or make some chicken tacos with my crispy taco shell recipe and top with some cilantro aioli. This takes about 5 minutes to make, so you can make it up while your chicken is marinating or grilling. To make the aioli, you need 2 egg yolks, so separate the whites from the yolks. Drop in 2 cloves of garlic to your food processor, a tablespoon of lime juice, about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. You might have to add some more later, depends on how salty you like stuff. Start running the food processor to combine the yolk, garlic, and lime juice. Then slowly drizzle in a cup of olive oil while the food processor continues to run. You don't want to add this too fast because it's going to break the emulsion, although the garlic and lime juice will help to stabilize that emulsion to keep it from breaking. You're going to start to see that it looks like mayonnaise. That's because we're basically making mayonnaise. Aioli and mayo are very similar, but there's one difference between the two, and that's that aioli always includes garlic, while mayo sometimes does, but rarely. Once your oil is added, it's time to add in the flavor. A half a cup of chopped cilantro and a half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and just a smidge more of salt for good luck. Pulse until it's combined. Now it's thick and creamy, and it's the perfect topping for chicken tacos. Before I show you the next recipe that can be tweaked into a different meal each week, I want to share with you my secret to having energy throughout the day. The best way that I have found to feel good, besides getting optimal nutrition in the foods that I eat, is to make sure I'm getting enough hydration. I do that by drinking plenty of water throughout the day and adding Element electrolytes when I need it. And Element is my sponsor for today's video. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte formula of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. If you consistently eat low carb or a keto diet, you might start to run low on electrolytes, which can cause you to have headaches or feel tired. Element has delicious flavors like lime, orange, watermelon, raspberry, and citrus, and it makes it easy to get in the necessary electrolytes I need to stay hydrated and energized. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. It's a great way to try all 8 flavors because you're going to get 8 of them in this sample pack. All you have to do is go to drinkelement.com/ketofocus. Steal is only available through my link, so make sure you go to drinklmnt.com/ketofocus. My favorite thing about this next recipe is that it's made on a sheet pan. Instead of making your chicken and veggies separately, which takes longer and dirties more dishes, everything gets scattered on a baking tray and baked at the same time in the oven. For this, start with a teriyaki sauce. You'll need a 1/3 cup of soy sauce or liquid aminos, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar for sweetener, 1 clove of minced garlic, and a half a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger. If you don't want to use the fresh stuff because you're lazy, just use a 1/4 teaspoon of powdered ginger. It'll taste just as good. 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of tomato paste, and for a thickener, I'm using arrowroot powder. Arrowroot powder does have some carbs in it, but since we're only using a half of a teaspoon, it's adding about 0.2 carbs per serving. It's hardly anything. Time to line the baking tray. I did line it with foil to make cleanup easy. And I'm using chicken tenders, but you could use chicken thighs or chunks of chicken breast. For the vegetables, this is where the variation comes in. You can change up this recipe each week by adding different vegetables, basically whatever is starting to rot in your fridge that you can still salvage. This is the perfect way to use it up. Today I'm adding some mushrooms, orange bell pepper, and some broccoli florets that I found hiding in the back of the crisper drawer. After you scatter the vegetables around your chicken, pour the teriyaki sauce on top. You can flip the tenders over or just rub them into the sauce so that both sides get seasoned. If you want the best flavor, it's best to let this marinate in the fridge for 6 to 8 hours, but I've also just baked it after 10 minutes of marinating and my family still ate it. You'll bake it in a 375-degree oven for 17 to 20 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through. I like to serve it over cauliflower rice with a side of wine, but it's also excellent over noodles. And if you want to know what the best keto noodles are, I've already reviewed all the options for you. Just click right here to see my favorites.